If you don't have your Zoom journal, if you don't know what I'm talking about, make sure that you get a journal that you can take all sorts of notes with when it comes to our Zoom so that you can always go back and look at the stuff that you learned from your Zooms because it's hard to retain all the information that we share on Zooms and stuff. So we have two amazing leaders on our team that are going to be sharing tips with you tonight. I'm going to be sharing some recordings and some tips with you. But really, we want you, the ultimate goal by the end of this training is to feel confident in your conversations. Now, I know that this is something that comes with time. This is something that comes with repetition as you consistently have those conversations. Like, I want you to drop a 1 in the chat if when you first joined, you were totally panicked about talking to people. I'm going to drop a 1 because I remember when I first joined, it was like, I'm going to screw something up. I'm going to say something wrong. What if they tell me no? Like, it was all this anxiety over just talking to people. And so I know that this is something that's really going to help newbies, but it's also going to give a refresher to those of you that have been around for a little bit. Because sometimes if you're not enrolling and you feel like you're talking to a lot of people, it could just simply be because you're giving too much information or you're straying too far from just the simple conversation that we have. And so we're going to tone it all back down to the basics tonight, and you're going to hear from some incredible girls that are absolutely killing it with enrollments so that you can see how they talk. Now, what I want to preface this Zoom with is this business is not a cookie cutter business, okay? The way that I work my business and the way that I have conversations is different than the way that Sean has conversations, than the way Alicia has conversations, than the way that Rebecca has conversations. And the way that we're going to teach you tonight is just a template almost. It's just what we want you to follow the flow. But if it's not something you would say, don't say it. We want you to feel comfortable in what you're saying and the way that you're speaking. And we want you to put your twist on it. Like all of my messages pretty much have, hey girl, with like 14 hearts in it. If you're one of my girls and you're a newbie of mine, you know that I'm like all about, hey girly friend, hey sister Sue. Like I'm just that kind of person, but you may not be that way. You may not like to do that, or you may not like to use emojis at all. I don't know what your thing is, but I want you to have the conversations and feel comfortable in them. I love voice messages, but some people would never be caught dead sending a voice message in their life. And that's okay, because if you're comfortable in that conversation, that enrollment is more than likely going to end up in your e-suite than if you're not comfortable in the situation. Does that make sense? So I just want to make sure that y'all hear that and you hear me say that we're not telling you to follow every single script. We're just giving you a template and a flow to follow. I'm going to start off with just a couple of tips, and then we're going to flow into the leaders that are speaking. But number one, first and foremost, the thing that I want to share with you is it gets easier. Okay. I know that a lot of you that feel crippled by having conversations and talking to people, it can seem like a lot. Knowing what to recommend to customers, knowing how to talk to potential distributors, especially when you, number one, don't feel comfortable. And number two, you're afraid that they're going to say no or that it's too expensive. And you have all these objections that you already set up in your head. How many of y'all have done that? Drop a 2 if you like already set yourself up for failure when you start the conversation because you're like, they're going to say it's too expensive, or they're going to say no, or, whatever it may be. I'm going to give y'all a tip that I heard when I very first joined the business that changed my entire mindset about having conversations and enrolling. You cannot say the wrong thing to the right person. Write it down. You cannot say the wrong thing to the right person. And then we'll flip that around. You cannot say the right thing to the wrong person. Okay? So if you talk to somebody who is like saying mean things in your conversation or just is completely difficult or whatever it may be, move on. There are millions and millions and millions of people on social media. Do not ever get hung up in one conversation because they're going AWOL or they're asking like 74 million questions or they're being rude or whatever it may be. But you cannot say the wrong thing to the right person. If you're just having a conversation with somebody, talking about these products, you're not going to say the wrong things, okay? And obviously there's boundaries to that, but for the most part, you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. And I want to say that because that changed my business, because I no longer felt afraid to have conversations and be myself. Because guys, it's okay if you mess up. It's okay if you say the wrong things. That's just why we're going to go into my second tip of sending screenshots to your upline. Okay. This is the number one most overlooked thing as a newbie is you're like, oh, I'm going to try to handle it by myself because I don't want to annoy my upline. No, cancel that thought. Get rid of it. Throw it out. Chunk it in the dumpster. Blow up your upline's phone. They've been where you are. We have scripts. We have systems. We have so many things that we have for our team already. And it makes it harder if you don't ask them because number one, you're doing more work. And number two, your upline will now have to do damage control for things that you said wrong. Okay. I had a newbie the other day who was just going through and doing all of her messages without me. And she placed customers wrong. She told them the wrong pricing and it wasn't her fault. She just tried to do it on her own. And so make sure that you're sending screenshots to your upline. And sometimes, even if you're not a brand new distributor, some of you on here still maybe don't feel confident in reaching out to people, or maybe you're not enrolling, but you're having tons of conversations. Take it back to the basics and say, hey, like, what would you say to this? It's okay to do that. I still send screenshots to some of my girls and I'm like, hey, what would you say to this? Because I'm not really sure. It's okay to do that. And don't feel like you're ever annoying your upline when you're doing that either. Because if you are a leader, if you have someone on your team right now, would you agree with me? If you'd rather get a screenshot, drop a 3. If you're like, yeah, please send me screenshots, blow up my phone. I'm going to see every single person is going to say a 3 because that's what we want. That also shows your upline that you're working. You'll know that. If you don't send screenshots to your upline, they may think that you've already joined the witness protection program and you've quit because you're trying to do your own thing, which is totally fine. But once you get the hang of it, then you can start doing things on your own, but you want to make sure that you're learning it the correct way. Okay. And so we're going to go ahead and jump into this. I'm going to see, I know Elena was having problems. Let's see if she is still on here. She is. I'm going to make her a co-host really fast. But everybody hype up Elena in the chat. She is seriously such a rock star. She has been mass enrolling. She's about to promote to Emerald this month, and it's so incredible to watch her do all of this stuff. And so, Elena, if you want to get on here and just share like a quick 30-second because of it works, and then go straight into your tips on how you have conversations.
Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Okay. So you said on how I have conversations?
Yep, just share your 30-second story and then all of your tips on how you have conversations.
Okay. Okay, so I joined in February of 2020, and I joined to basically help my husband out with bills and things like that because I am a stay-at-home mom, and we were drowning in debt. We couldn't even pay our bills basically, and so I jumped right in and I got started as soon as I could. And then I promoted to Ruby in April, and now I am going Emerald this month. So on how I get my conversations going and things like that, whenever it comes to potential customers and distributors, I never did this until January of this year, but I started getting personal with people, and just when we're having a conversation, I relate to them on a different level than just sending a script after script after script. And I also started doing voice messages. Never did that until this year either. So that's kind of how I get started on my conversations, and how I keep them going, to keep them all the way through the process of either becoming a customer or becoming a distributor.
So how do you feel like you seal the deal best? Are you like using urgency, short, quick messages? Like, how do you feel like you get the customer from that conversation into your personally enrolled team?
So the scripts that I'm using, I'm trying to, whenever I'm using the scripts, I just make my own twist to them so that they know that I'm a real person, and so that they know, because sometimes it's family or it's friends, and I don't want to send scripts to them because they know who I am and how I am. And so I just kind of put my own twist on the scripts for that would mostly like be who I am and how I would word things. If that makes sense.
Yeah, 100%. So I know the answer to this, and I think you're going to answer it the way that I know you will. But I feel like when you're having all these conversations, you're like, I'm going to help you. Like, I am serving you here. Like, I'm the person that's giving you these products and this business opportunity. So do you feel like confidence plays a big role in your conversations, getting them from point A to point B?
Yes. So whenever I do start talking to a customer, especially a customer, because one, they're wanting to lose weight. Mostly all my customers are wanting to lose weight, and they want to know that the product works. They want to know that I know what I'm talking about when it comes to the products, because if I don't know what I'm talking about, they're not going to want to order with me, because I wouldn't want to order for myself if I didn't know what weight loss product I was even selling. So yes, I have grown confident in it because I guess I've been here for a little bit now. So as soon as we start talking about any of their goals, that's where I start to make sure that I'm telling them about my personal goals as well. Like if they were wanting to lose weight, and obviously I need to lose weight after this baby, so we just start talking about that stuff, and then I have gotten a lot confident as definitely this year since January, talking with people about the products as well.
Yeah. Do you feel like because you use the products and you have like your own results and you drink the coffee and you use the products that you have a confidence behind that conversation because you do use them?
Yes. Um, every single time I post about my coffee videos in the morning, I always have someone slide up on a story and ask me questions. And even if they don't order the same day, I always just make sure that, you know, I'm posting every single day about my coffee because they're watching me. And that's definitely how I get a lot of my customers is because they see that I'm using the product.
Yes, amen. And the last thing that I want to ask you is I know you talk to a lot of people. You're always having conversations, you're always planting seeds, you're doing tons of host to post. I mean, you're pulling out all the stops obviously because you're trying to promote. So, I know that obviously following up is a big huge part of what we do because you're talking to all these people, they're not going to buy from you immediately. So, do you feel like a large percentage of your customers is from following up?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Oh, I'm sorry. It went completely blank. So, you said for follow up.
Yeah. Do you feel like
Okay.
majority of your customers are from follow up?
Yes. So I follow up with like a potential customer every other day. I feel like it's kind of a lot, but usually they're not mad at me for following up every other day. It's just because people get busy, and a lot of people during the week, they work late, or things like that. I'm gonna send a follow up message that I do use that actually works well for me, just in case anyone wants to use it. And yes, 100. A lot of my customers come from follow up, and I make sure I do it at least every other day if they didn't tell me like to follow up with them on a specific day.
I love that. And y'all, this girl is constantly, consistently enrolling because she's planting seeds, she's posting, she's going on her story, she's confident, she's using the products. And so I would go through and look at what you're doing and say, like, what is my missing piece of my puzzle? Like, I want you to ask yourself, are you using the products first and foremost? Because that confidence is going to boost your enrollments 110%. And you're also going to be able to post about the products because you have them in your hands, right? You're able to post them on your story, take pictures with them, touch them, feel them, get that confidence. Number two, how many people are you talking to, right? Are we talking to 5 people or are we talking to 15 people a day? Or are we talking to 50 people a day? I know Elena doesn't talk to 5 people every single day. She's always planting seeds and talking to a massive amount of people because I'll tell y'all what I told one of my girls today. I was talking to Claire Flores. She's an ambassador diamond. In November of 2019, she was going ambassador and she was the second ambassador diamond of the year. If you don't know what ambassador is, that's the top promotion in the business. It's an average of $30,000 a month. Like it's a big, massive promotion. And when she was promoting, people don't typically promote to November at the very end of the year, right around the holidays and Christmas. It's not very typical. And she said, you know what? My goal from day one was to plant as many seeds and have as many conversations with people as I could. It wasn't the enrollment I was looking for. It wasn't that sign up process I was looking for. It was how many conversations was I having? And so I know Elena wakes up with that mindset of how many people can I talk to today? How many host to posts can I get up today so that I can have more people that some of them will enroll right now, but the rest of them, she knows she's going to have to follow up. And that's the same with Claire. She was like, all month long, I just hit potentials, 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 potentials. So when the end of the month came and I had to close out my promotion over those last 5 days, I had all these potentials that I had talked to. I planted all these seeds. And another cool part about her story is her daughter spilt an entire cup of juice on her iPad where all of her potentials were saved. And she lost all of her potentials that she had written down from that month. But because she had planted so many, all of those people started coming to her at the end of the month when she was like, my kid spilled juice on my iPad. I'm trying to promote. And she was vulnerable about it and people flocked to her. But imagine, you guys, if she wouldn't have planted all those seeds and then her daughter would have spilled juice, she would have had no follow-ups, no iPad, and no promotion because she wouldn't have planted all those seeds. And I hope that inspires you, because when it comes to those promotions, my goal, and I went live about it today in the team page. If you missed that, go watch it. My goal every single day when my head hits the pillow is not, did I mass enroll today? Did I get 15 distributors? Did I get 7 customers? My goal every day when I hit my head on the pillow is, did I talk to a lot of people today and have good quality new conversations? That's my goal. As long as I'm going to bed knowing that I planted new seeds and I was talking to people and I was having conversations, I had a successful day. Not by how many enrollments I had, not by how many posts I got up, but how many new people that are now in my system that are going to be watching me, following me, that I can follow up with, that I can harvest over time, especially when I'm coming in for promotion. So Elena, if you think of anything else towards the end, just let me know and I can unmute you again. But you are killing it. I'm so proud of you and you're such a natural at this. I just can't wait to watch you promote. Okay, Sarah. Okay, I think I unmuted the right one.
Yeah.
Hi. Okay, share
Hello.
a little bit of your story with us, like a 30-second before it, but because of it works, and then all of your best tips with us.
Hey you guys, so I'm Sarah Salinas. I'm a double diamond. I joined in 2018. I've been here 2.5 years now. I started as a broke college student, like a lot of us probably did. And I was just looking for more. I saw Kayla online making money and I was already online. So I thought, why not give it a try? I literally didn't have the money. So if you're somebody who, like, in your conversations, you're like, this is like a big price. What if they don't want to pay it? What if they don't have it? Like, I didn't have the money to start this business and I put it on a credit card. I didn't know how I was going to pay the credit card off, but I did it anyways because I knew I could bet on myself, right? So I went from working multiple jobs and just being super stressed in a really crappy apartment. I had moved on my own for the first time, and I was in like the worst, like the lowest apartment that I could have gotten, which is fine, and I was happy there. But I have been able to move on into something that that's bigger and better for my like life right now. So I'm thankful for that. I've been able to pay off a lot of debt. I pay out my own tuition now, which is insane to me that I'm able to do from my phone, which thankful for this business because it does that for me. And I don't have to ask my parents for help, which is what I really joined for. Is I didn't want to ask my mom for money to go get my nails done, to go get gas or anything. Like, she was there if I needed her, but I didn't want to have to need her. So that was 2.5 years ago, and that's my because it works. But kind of bouncing off the last thing that Shay said about the conversations, is the excitement in your business is going to come from the conversations. Like, getting an enrollment and seeing the notifications, so exciting, right? But 5 minutes later, you kind of forget about it. But having the conversations is what is exciting, and having a lot of them is what produces those results to get those notifications that are exciting too, right? So if you aren't having conversations right now and you probably don't feel excited, you probably need to be going out and messaging more people, right? But the reason why we wanted to like have this Zoom and talk about how to talk to your people and what to be recommending and things is because you never want a customer to come down the line and be like, this product didn't work for me, and have like a bad taste if it works, and have a bad taste of the products or whatever. You want them to be paired with the right product for them, so that way they get results, that way they share them too, maybe become a distributor because they saw such incredible results using the product. So it just takes that extra effort in the beginning of you sharing the right thing, because I have definitely talked to people and they come from Host to Post, or they come from just regular like being on Facebook, and they're like, oh yeah, I tried that like a few years ago and it didn't work for me. And I'm like, well, what did you use? And they say, I used the wraps and I didn't lose like 50 pounds. And I'm like, well, wraps aren't meant for weight loss. So the person you talked to probably told you they were, and it wasn't. And now that person has a bad taste in their mouth and they don't even want to talk to me about the product anymore because they are thinking of that even happened this week to me. Somebody told me that they weren't going to try gummies because of years ago they tried something. And it just comes down to, did the distributor take the time to take care of them and understand what they were wanting? And if you don't understand off of the bat, like you're brand new, or maybe you've been here a while, ask your upline. And if she doesn't understand, she'll ask her upline, because we're all going to take care of you, right? So some things that I always go off of is I'm starting off my conversations asking, like, what is your goal? These are the type of things that I have. So I have skincare, weight loss, detox, hair growth, overall health. I just list off those ones. I know there's some messages that say like anxiety and stress and a lot of other things, but I stick to like those 4 or 5 like categories. And so if they say weight loss, then I'm asking them, okay, what is your lifestyle like? Do you work out? Do you like coffee, or do you prefer tea? So we're getting down to like, what exactly is your goal basically, and what are your preferences? Because if there's somebody who doesn't work out, Thermophyte X probably won't work for them very well because it's better whenever it's helping you boost your metabolism when you are active. So you want to make sure that you're getting their lifestyle down, you're getting what they like. If they like black coffee, you don't want to give them keto coffee. Not that some people wouldn't mind it, but if I was recommended the Skinny Brew and it got to me, I would be very upset because I don't like black coffee, and I would probably tell my distributor, like, this is disgusting, but I drink Skinny Brew now. But if it was somebody who I was buying from and they only gave me that one option and didn't ask me if I like black or creamy, then that would be like, for me, it would turn me off if I ended up trying Skinny Brew, right? So you want to make sure you know exactly, do they like this or do they like that? Do they have a dairy sensitivity? That means they would go to Skinny Brew, right? So this is, if you are like, I'm so confused, I don't know how to like differentiate all of these things, ask your upline, don't worry. And there's tons of scripts in the team pages. If you're not in the boards app, that is going to have like everything you need in there. But I also, in just like my notes on my phone from talking to my upline whenever I first started, I always save things into my notes. So now I have a little thing that says, like, I'll share it in just a second. If they like coffee, I have the two options, black or creamy. If they like tea, now you've got chai tea and you got skinny tea. If they don't like either one of those, you can recommend Thermophyte X, Slimming Gummies, Carb Control. Like you can have other options. You can make packs. But a big tip is just you don't ever want to do just one product by itself. Our products work best together. So if you are talking to somebody about Slimming Gummies, ask them, do you like coffee or tea? It doesn't have to be anything like super stressful, just casual. Just be like, I always recommend pairing my products with other ones just to get the best results. Do you at all like coffee or tea? And then you can give them a little bit more info on that. And if they say no, they say no. And it's just, you still have them on the Slimming Gummies or the Thermophyte X or whatever it is that you're talking to them about. But going back to just asking them like their goal and their preferences, then you can branch off of there. And if they say like, I have this problem, if I'm caffeine sensitive, you can go to the next thing and say, okay, well, then you'll want to try this, this, and this instead. And this comes with time. It's not something that you just know off the bat. It's something that working with your upline, looking at the boards app, you'll come to realize that we have the same conversations over and over and over again, right? So we have that boards app because we're all saying the same things. It's just a matter of how many people you talk to. So I'm always giving people the gummies description. I'm always giving people the keto coffee and chocolate grains because that's what I use. So that's what I mostly talk about is that and gummies, which kind of ties to like if you're using the product. So using them is going to build that confidence and kind of understanding of what things are. I have tried like almost every product other than a few things, but I have tried almost everything. So I kind of can give my testimony to like what you're going to feel like, what it's going to taste like, what it's going to do for your body. And like, just, I can recommend better because I've tried things. Not to say that you have to go try every single thing, but if you can get your hands on products, do that. So that way you do have that backup there, and then it builds that confidence for you. So most of my conversations right now are about the Slimming Gummies because that's what I'm doing for Host Post. It's all gummies. And then it's about keto coffee and chocolate greens because that's all I post about. I post about that on my Instagram story every day for the past 2 years. And then on TikTok, and then Slimming Gummies, I'm doing Host Post and also posting that on TikTok as well. So it's easier whenever you stick to a few products to share on your page. And then if somebody is having a one-on-one conversation with you and says, I like tea more than coffee, I'm not sharing the chai tea on my page because I don't like chai tea. Not that I don't think it's a great product. I just personally tried it and I don't like it. So I'm not using it. So I don't share it on there because I have other things and I know that they work and I have like my testimony behind it. But so I'm sharing specific products on my page that I have confidence behind, that I use, and that I love already. So I have those conversations, and then if somebody comes and they end up saying, well, I actually like this more than this, then we'll branch out and I'll tell them about other things. So that's kind of how I go about my conversations and what I share. So if you are brand new, like stick to a few things that you want to share. Don't feel like you have to share all of them because we've got so many products. They're all amazing. But if you're sharing all of them at once, you're probably overwhelming yourself, and you might overwhelm your audience too because they see so many different things. So I have always stuck to those products. But I think that is a lot of stuff that I shared all at once. If Shay has any questions.
Well, something I want to say off of what you said is, guys, do y'all realize that after hearing Sarah talk, she does all the things? Like, she's over here talking about stories, and she's like, oh yeah, and then I post about these on TikTok, and then I post about these on Facebook. And to some that may sound overwhelming, but what I take from that is Sarah wants to be successful and she's doing the things that it takes to be successful. She's having conversations on all different platforms, utilizing all of her resources. And so, guys, I want to ask you in the chat, I want you to tell me, how bad do you want success? Like bad, really bad, like more than you want air? Like tell me where are we at? Are we at 1 to 10 on like how badly you want success? Like more than air? Okay. How badly do you want it means how much are you willing to do? Like when I say like my confidence behind when I go to bed at night, all I want to do is have hundreds of conversations. Like, I think that's why I do have that positive mindset about enrolling is if I don't enroll every day, that's okay. As long as I know I planted a ton of seeds of people. I did TikToks and I got new potentials. I did a Facebook Live and I got 5 new comments on that of people that I've never seen before. Or I did an Instagram post and saw a couple of people like it and I'm like, never seen them before. They're watching me now. Like that's what I get so excited off of is because I'm doing all the things, a lot of it, and getting lots of names on my list of people that I'm talking to. And that's why Sarah enrolls is because she doesn't just talk to them once and say, woohoo, like they messaged me from TikTok, I'm so excited. So Sarah, I want you to talk about like you always are having numbers, like you always have numbers. You've always got names and messages going and conversations going. And so when it comes to that, how much do you feel like all of that comes from following up and making sure that you're having those conversations and then following up with them?
Yeah, so for anybody I talk to, I always write their name down. So I have them, I started writing them down on like I always used a journal and now I use what are they called? Like calendar planner. I use a planner now. So I write their name down on like the day I talk to them and I follow up with anybody that I talk to and we've gotten like pretty far into the conversation. Like I've already told them the description and the price. I follow up with them the next day. And a lot of the times they will sign up that day, or if they don't, I'll follow up on Friday or monthly. And just think about like how many things that you went on online and you added something to your cart and you abandoned the cart and you just keep getting messages. I did that the other day to some like eating subscription. I was just looking at it. I wanted to see what my friend's discount would make the price come down to. I got like 5 text messages and a million emails about it in 2 days. And I was like, what the heck? Like they have follow up down. Like nobody's going to be upset with you for following up. And if they are and they say like, hey, I don't want it, then you just take them off your list and it's okay. But with following up, not only is it about the message that you're sending them, but it's also about you continuing to share things on your page. So I have people that I've talked to from so long ago, and then I go live on Facebook and I post about some different type of product, and they see that, and then they're ready to order because they're still watching you. Anybody you talk to, they're still watching you. So following up is super important. Writing down the names is important. If you don't have time to write them down, screenshot them, write them down in your notebook later, or whatever like method you have to follow up with people or to write them down and keep them in track. Because once you start like losing track of who you're talking to, then you're losing potentials, right? So you don't want that to happen. If you're brand new, start now, writing their names down and where you found them at, or maybe what they are talking to you about. That way, when there's a sale, let's say there's a BOGO on something, you can go back to them and be like, hey, there's a BOGO on this product. So I think that writing down your people is one of your like the essential things for your business, because that's how you're going to get to those results in like who you're signing up. But kind of what Shay was talking about too is doing everything. It's just in this business, like you can be working without working in so many ways. Like my TikTok, I can post my TikToks in the morning, like post 4 of them, and they're going to work for me all day long. And even if there's only a few views on it, like think about if 10 people walked in and were watching you talk about the business, like 10 is still people, right? So those are working for me. And then I post about my coffee every morning on my Facebook. That's working for me for the people who have been staring at me, waiting for me to post the right thing. Even if I don't get any likes, that's working for me. My stories are working for me all day long, and new people are watching them every hour, and then just making sure that they're always up. My page is always working for me. So there's so many different things that you can be doing to show the product, show the opportunity to be working without working. But you have to like put it out there, right? And then you follow up behind that and behind the scenes by doing the messaging and talking to the people. Like I said, the excitement comes from those conversations. So doing the things all over the place. They don't take long. Like I said, I post my TikToks on in the morning, my coffee in the morning, my stories in the morning, they're all done. And then what else do you have to do in the day? Go follow, go message, go do everything else. Just know that like those things are working. If you're a super busy person, that also helps with just knowing that like you've got all those things going at once.
If you have learned something from this Zoom so far, I want you to drop a 5 in the chat. If Elena or I or Sarah have taught you something, I want you to drop a 5. Okay, lots of 5s. All right, we're doing great, guys. Good job. Go team. So I just want to share with y'all too, when it comes to having these conversations, I want you to understand the resources that you have. Okay. I think sometimes we make ourselves like work harder than we have to. Like some of my newbies, I'm like, I'm literally going to be doing this business for you for a while. You're going to be riding on my shoulders while I carry you through this, because we have everything that's already done. Like work smarter, not harder. So let's talk potential distributors, okay? So we're talking about potential distributors, whether they come to you from TikTok or your Reels or from a post that you do. Maybe you're brand new and you posted about announcing that you're joining the business and someone's like, hey, what is it that you're doing? If you search PDT script in the team page, potential distributor script, it's all out there for you. Literally how we make money, what exactly it is that we do, how much it costs to join. Now, Sarah, I want you to talk about in those situations when you're talking to somebody, you probably have a script that you use, but what about the in-betweens? Are you sending voice messages? Are you keeping it super short and simple? Are you just being excited? Like, what do you feel like for people that are like, okay, well, if I follow the scripts, what if they ask questions in between? You know, like, I feel like that's kind of what catches people. How do you go about those?
Yeah, so our resources have like everything you need. Like I can search in the notes, and if somebody says, oh, this is a scam, like literally you can look up scam and it's in there. And if somebody says like, how do we make money, it's in there. Like everything is already in the scripts. I don't know what else they could ask that's outside of that. Then I just keep it real simple. Like if they ask, how do we, like, what do you get at the end of the year for taxes? I just say we get a 1099. Like it's not like drawn out or anything. You don't have to like it's kind of like people who overshare, like then it's just overwhelming and you don't want to talk anymore. Like you don't want to be that overshare whenever it comes to messaging about products or the opportunity. You just be straight out, tell them what we do. Same with products. Don't over talk about the products. Just say what it is. Nobody needs to know like how many grams of this, that, and that are in there. Nobody needs to know the full breakdown of what the whole compensation plan is and the talk about becoming a distributor. Just be simple. If you use voice messages, do voice messages. I don't personally use them for every conversation unless it's something that is specific, then I'll just do a quick one. But other than that, it's real short, sweet, to the point.
Yes. And that is the key, you guys. I remember just thinking back when I got started, I used to be so desperate for a sale that when someone would say they're interested, I'd send in the description, then we talk about the price, and then they're like, they wouldn't respond for like 5 minutes. And I'm like, our customer program's amazing. I really love the products. You'll love them too. And I'm over here like dishing out all, y'all are smiling because y'all are all like, I do it too. We all do it because we get so desperate and we're like, they're really amazing. Oh yeah, did I say they're plant-based? They're all natural. And we just start going at it with all this stuff. Same with distributors. We're like, I love it so much. We have all these Zooms and you can get all these bonuses and you can make all these fast starts and you can just, we have so much fun. And then there's these trips and then we have events and we get so caught up in sharing all this stuff when they didn't ask that. And so another tip, my third tip that I'm going to give you, don't answer what is not asked. Do not answer what is not asked. Some of you on here love details, okay? You love details. You love all the answers, but most people do not. So the more information you give, the more you're going to scare people away. If they ask questions, answer it super shortly. Like a very typical message that I get back when I'm talking about joining the business is, what are the bonuses? How do you earn the bonuses? I'm sure all of y'all get that question. I talk about the $10,000 bonus or the $5,000 bonus or whatever it may be. And people are like, what is that? Once you reach a promotion in our business, you get a bonus for earning it. Basically just like a congratulations for hitting that rank. Same as if you work an office job, you get promoted. That's it. I don't explain anything else because they're not going to understand it. They don't know what to ask. And you also have to remember, you have to stay in control of the conversation. Because if I'm talking to Sarah and she's asking questions about the products, she doesn't know what to ask, right? She's just asking based off of what she can see. But when it comes to me having conversations and people ask certain questions, I just typically follow the script. Even with potential distributors, they're like, what's this, that, and the other? I just follow the script because they don't know what to ask. So if you're in control of it, they're going to feel that. If you're not and you're blowing them up, that's when they're going to get overwhelmed. So Sarah, when you're talking to potential customers and they're like, you know, this, that, and the other, maybe they seem a little bit hesitant. Do you ever send like before and after pictures or customer reviews from other things or anything like that to help seal the deal?
Yeah, for sure. Just rewinding real fast about having control over the conversation. Another thing that I didn't even think about is at the end of every pair like message I send to people, I have a question. So that way they still have to answer me. So it's like, this is this. Does that sound good to you? Or do you have any other questions for me? Or whatever it is. There's always a question at the end of my message, because if you just say this is what it is, then like you don't know that they're going to respond. But if having a question makes it more like they're going to say, okay, that sounds great, or let's get started, or whatever it is. And then what was the question about the potential distributors?
Do you send like
The
before and
customers.
afters or like
Oh,
anything
yes.
like that to put more emphasis on it?
Yeah, so I always send so if I'm talking and they are going like super quick, let's say they came from a host post, we're talking about Slimming gummies. I gave them the description, I gave them the price. They say yes, we're already putting in the order without them like getting a review. If they are like, oh, that sounds good, let me think about it, then I say, okay, like here is the product label for you to look over if you want more info on what exactly is in it. Here are also some of my customers' reviews and their before and afters, and I'll send those along with that, the best ones that I've got too. And so utilize those tools. They're all in the team page as well. I think there's some in the boards app too. I just have them like saved to a folder on my phone. So I have like Slimming gummies. I have all the results in one place. And so if anybody's questioning, they say they are going to think about it. They say they need to do more research. They say whatever reason, I just say, awesome. Here's this, this, and this. And then usually they're like, oh, wow, that looks great. And, and then they want to order. And if they don't order, I follow up and I just say, hey, were you still, or can I help you get an order in?
Yeah, and that's a really good thing. I'm glad you mentioned that, because how many of you have ever heard, let me think about it? All of us. It's the worst. I'm like, oh God, we were so close, right? And you get that gut punch and you're like, dang it. So what I always do, no matter if it's a distributor saying, let me think about it, or, let me look into it or whatever, I always say, what holds you back? That simple. 4 words. What holds you back? And they always tell you every time, well, I need to do some research, or my payday isn't until next Friday, or I've tried this and it hasn't worked. There's always an objection. What holds you back? Every time. It works every time. And they'll always tell you, then I can go from there. Then I can figure it out and I can send them the ingredients, or I could send them a before and after picture, or I send a voice message and just say like, I totally remember, trying this product and just thinking like, oh my gosh, what if it doesn't work? Because a lot of times people are like, well, I don't know if it's going to work for me. There's always an objection. And that's where you can take a screenshot and send it to your upline as well. But I know we've mentioned Boards app a lot. So for those of you that don't know what that is, or maybe you don't have it downloaded, your upline probably has a board for you too. There's multiple boards on our team, but if you search in the team page Boards app, you can drop your email on that post and we'll get you added into it. It's literally an app with tons of resources. I added a couple of my newbies to it today and they were freaking out. They were like, wow, this is so amazing, because literally everything is in there. There's product posts, there's business posts, there's all distributor objections with they say, I don't have money, I don't have time, it's a scam, whatever it may be. We've got all sorts of options for you. But anything like that, that's all in the Boards app. And you can also ask your upline, because I know Sarah probably has one for her team. I know Kayla has one, like we all have them. And to me, the more the merrier. The more boards you got, the more resources you have, and you'll find the answer for it in those. So Sarah and Elena, if you'll have anything you want to add after I talk about this, then let me know. So I'm going to share my screen with y'all. Sometimes it's a little weird and takes a while, but I'm going to show y'all a couple of options for some conversations that I've had with people that have enrolled with me over the past couple of weeks. But yes, Kylie, there is a message for pyramid scheme in there already. It asks me to trust every single time. So maybe somebody that knows a little bit more about computers, I want it to trust it every time, not just one time. But anyways, I'm going to keep talking until this pops up, but there's literally a message for every single objection that we have. So you'll find it in there. You can also go into the team page and search whatever it is that you're struggling with, and you're going to find the answer for it. So it says it's popping up soon. So let me know when y'all see it in the chat. It takes a bit sometimes, maybe my computer, not really sure. One day. Oh my gosh. I want you to drop in the chat, what is your aha moment so far though? I'm really curious as to maybe what it is that you're like, wow, that changed my life. This is so good. I haven't been doing that. Let us know in the chat. Okay, we finally popped up. It's coming. Okay, do y'all see anything? No. All right, well, it says it's up there. This may not be an option for me today. You know, it wouldn't be Shay if it wasn't a technical difficulty. Am I right? We'll try one more time, and if it doesn't work, we'll just carry on. But I want to show y'all how simple my conversations are, because sometimes I have conversations and they're like done in a second and they enroll right away. Sometimes it's they need a little more questions, they have a little more answers. There we go. Can y'all see that? Yes. Okay. So, oh, okay, it went away. Wait, can y'all still see it? No. Okay. I think it's there. All right. We'll go with this. Okay, so this is a customer that swiped up on my Slimming Gummies story on Instagram. And I said, perfect, what's your number? I'll send you more information. I personally like to get them off of social media so that I can save their number and have a contact. You don't have to do that. You can keep them on Instagram if that's how you want to do it, but I don't. So I said, hey girl, it's Cheyenne. And she said, hey, so I gave birth a month ago. I want to try the gummies and defining gel. So I send her both descriptions. All the descriptions are under product info in your team page, in our team page. And then also in the boards app, there's a product info button where there's every description to the main products that we have. So I sent her the description. She said, let's do it. I said, perfect. Let's get your order placed. Awesome. You can sign me up. 9 times out of 10, I am going to enroll my customers. They always want me to do it because I give them the option. Okay. I give them the option. The ball is in their court. And they always say, yeah, you can sign me up. And so I send them the order information message, and then they send me their info. It's that simple. And then I get them signed up, send them their confirmation, and we're on our way. Next person here, she also swiped up on a story on Instagram. That's why it says, let's get your order placed, because it was for gummies. And then I upsold. So we're going to talk about upselling for a second. Okay. And I'm sure, Sarah, you'll probably have tips on this. Same with Elena, because upselling is game changer. Remember how Sarah was like, yeah, our products work best together? Yes, it's true. One product's great. A lot of products is even better. Okay. So I said, let's get your order placed. She said, I can go ahead and do it. So this situation, she wanted to place the order. So I upsold, meaning I'm offering her an additional product at a discounted rate. She said, yep, might as well, anything to help. If I wouldn't have upsold that, I would have dropped more BB. I would have only had 30 BB of an order, but this one turned into 63. So I made her a shopping cart, sent her the link, and she sent me her confirmation. That simple. Next person was on Instagram. So she asked me about gummies. I sent her the description. See this? She didn't reply. So I followed up with her the next day and I said, hey, I'm getting orders in. Do you want to get your order in? Hey, I've been sick, blah, blah, blah. Here's an excuse. We talked about it for a little bit, explained the 90-day challenge, told her the cost, and I got her signed up. That simple. Okay. So I hope that that kind of teaches you that you don't have to give more information. You don't have to extra share. You don't have to overshare. I literally follow the scripts that you have access to in the team page. Now they don't all look like that. Sometimes people want some more time or whatever, just like we talked about, but guys, just keep it simple, stick to the scripts. And I promise you that it's going to work. I promise you, because that's what our team is built off of. Sarah, Elena, do either one of y'all have any other tips or things that you'd like to share?
I do, if Elena doesn't.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, so there's like 10, 12 days left in the month, maybe less, like 10 days left in the month, right? So if y'all are wanting to like mass enroll and get a lot of customers and hitting your promotions or your shopping spree, whatever it is, it's all about how many conversations you're having, because like Shay just said, we all have the same thing. She used the same script that is in the boards app. We're all using that. We all have access to that, right? So it's just a matter of how many people are you talking to? Because if you're talking to 5 a day, that's you're making your chances so much slimmer than if you're talking to way more people a day, right? And like I said, the excitement comes from that. So using the things that we are providing you with and really going all in, especially at the end of the month like this, and especially because we have such amazing products, share them with everybody. Those gummies, I was someone who didn't believe in them. I was like, I don't know how a gummy's going to do that. And then I started using them. And the results are incredible. I have seen results. I've seen other people's results. Like, share these. People need them. People want them. Be excited about it. If you haven't tried anything out yet, take excitement from your upline. Take excitement from the result pictures you've seen, the testimonies, whatever it is, and just go all in with doing host to post, with messaging people, with all platforms. Like I said, they work for you. All you got to do is put the things up and see how you hit your promotion or how close you get to it or whatever it is by the 31st, because you've got so much time left in the month. It's just a matter of what you do and what you're willing to like put into your business. and it's gonna only get you that much closer to your goal next month, or it's gonna help you hit your goal this month, right? So I hope that y'all really use these tools, use the conversations, and just go all in with them, because I feel like a lot of times people hold themselves back because they're so like in and out of conversations. They're like, oh, I don't want to say it, or I don't know if I said the right thing, or whatever it is. Just go for it. And like Shay said, you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. And like I said, just take all these tips and really run with them for the next few days.
Love it. So I have just a couple updates with y'all to share with you. So make sure you got the Boards app downloaded. I think that y'all have heard it about 74 times. Okay, so make sure you got it downloaded. It'll change your life. Second, make sure that you stay plugged into the team page, okay? Facebook sucks and the algorithm sucks, and you're not always gonna see the notifications. And so make sure that you have them turned on, and that you click the group button on Facebook, and you make sure you stay updated, because Sarah shares scripts a lot, Kayla does, Cheyenne does, all of our leaders do, I do, we go live, and we share things in there that could be a game changer for you. Because I think about even just one step of my system, it may not work as good, but I probably got that from another leader that's in our team page. So whoever your leader is, text them and say, hey, help me get into the Boards app, and they can teach you and show you how and get you in there. Third, every Sunday night, I just wanted to give you all a reminder. So right after our team Zooms, always head over to Mark's Facebook, Mark Pentecost. He's our CEO. We have a family call every Sunday where they announce promotions, they announce things, they do all sorts of stuff, and making sure you're in the loop. If you're not in the loop, your team's not in the loop. And that's your obligation to make sure that you're learning and growing and figuring out all the announcements that happen. And it's very important to make sure you do that, because imagine if I didn't watch them. So sometimes they'd announce stuff and y'all wouldn't know because you're not watching them. And so you have to make sure you plug into that. And then the last thing. So we don't carry inventory in this business. And a lot of y'all are not having good conversations and not feeling confident in those conversations because you're not using the products. And so I want to share with you all the importance of running an auto shipment. Every month since I've been in this business, I have got products shipped to my door. Now we know I don't want to spend money because I joined this business to make money. In order to make money, you must use the products, period, point blank, because you have to have a confidence behind them. You have to use them, share them, touch them, feel them, smell them, and get that confidence behind using them. And so if you log into your eSuite, click auto shipment at the top, add 3 products that you want to try, get them shipped to your house. You don't have to use all of them. You could sell them if you wanted to. Figure it out, because it's that important, making sure you use them. Because then when someone says, hey, do you like the coffee? Instead of saying, I don't know, I've heard it's great, you're able to say, I freaking love the coffee and I'm down 10 pounds. Or I love the skincare, I've never felt more confident. The collagen has made my hair grow so much. You see what I mean? There's a difference behind that confidence and making sure that you are using them and sharing those results from it. And so the last thing I want to share with y'all, if you haven't seen and you maybe forgot about it or forgot the importance of it, I'm doing a check match contest this month, you guys. Who's pumped about it? I know a lot of y'all are fighting for it and you're still texting me about it because you're so excited. So whatever, if you look in the team page, at the top of the team page, there is a check match contest that I announced where I am giving you and matching 2 people their entire paycheck. Okay, so it's all the way up to Emerald. If you drop all of your entries, which is every customer, you must be running that auto shipment. Every distributor you get, like anything, you're going to drop it in the comments of that video or that post, and I'm going to pick 2 people that can win to be able to give a check match. And then on top of that, we're doing a exclusive Zoom for 10 winners with Ambassador Diamond Rachel Jones. She's a millionaire mama. She's incredible at this business, and your business will change after that Zoom, because we have lots of good stuff planned on how to make more money, how to work your business, how to promote all the things. And so make sure that you are looking at that and not forgetting about it, because everything that you do, every customer you enroll, every good quality conversation you have is getting you that much closer to getting your check match. That's what I see about it. Okay. I'm like, if you can have a good conversation and enroll a customer, what if that's the one customer that earns you that entry? That's the way I look at it. So y'all should be fighting to have as many entries in the comments of that post so that you can get your check matched. Because what if you made $937? Double that, sister. That's a lot of money that you could make. So I'm excited. I'm pumped for y'all. I hope that this Zoom was everything that y'all needed it to be and you feel confident in those conversations. The more that you have them, the easier it will feel and the more confident you'll feel in those conversations. And make sure that you're sending screenshots to your upline so that they can help you and walk you through those conversations until you feel comfortable enough to do it on your own. Even if you feel comfortable right now, still make sure you're sending those screenshots, and always remember, you cannot say the wrong thing to the right person. Bye guys, good night.